Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crescent Electric's Partnering for Progress webinar series. We've got Dave Santora with Priority Wire and Cable with us. He's our national account manager, and he's going to give you some great information today. So I'm going to hand it over to Dave.
Thank you, Lane. Well, I appreciate everybody attending, and the goal today is just to really make it informative and to help everybody understand why partnering with Crescent is such a great opportunity. So we'll do an introduction. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. We'll do an overview of some of the things that the industry is facing right now, and especially for you as a customer. And then we'll talk about the products that we offer and how they can help you. And we'll talk about labor savings and productivity, the types of things that are really helping companies, especially in the year 2026, where there's less labor out there and there's less talented labor out there. So we'll focus on today's market, and then we'll talk about partnering with Crescent and some of the big benefits to doing that. We'll talk about a green program that as Crescent's customer that they can offer to you. That's a great incentive. And then we'll wrap up. So my name's Dave Santoro, as Lane had mentioned. I am the national account manager for Crescent. And that basically says that I take care of Crescent's business across the United States, including their opcos that operate under different names. We have an inside sales team that works with all the Crescent customers that work for you as the customer. And that means that each Crescent representative has an exclusive representative with us so that they get to know each other and they get to know you and the types of projects that you work on. In the field, we have also local representatives that live in your geography. And as a customer, it's good to know that they know what projects are going on in your backyard. And then we also have specialists that deal in the utility space or the verticals like solar and utility and industrial and fiber and things like that. So if you ever have that specialty need as a customer, you could go to them directly through your Crescent contact. So an overview of where we fit and how things work. I mean, right now, labor and staff issues, there's fewer people doing more tasks. And that's one of the biggest challenges that I think are facing our country. Understanding the overall strength of Crescent and being able to work with a company that has a long-standing history of over 105 years really helps you understand a company that's been through it all and who's persevered and gotten there. We want you to help understand the total job. You know, a lot of times people come to us with an RFQ and they say, here are the products that we need. But because of our experience and Crescent's experience, together we can help you as the customer understand what you're going to run into on some of those projects based on our own experiences. We're going to communicate pricing structures. And one of the biggest challenges that companies have today is with the cost of metals and the volatility of metals, it's been really hard for them to protect those margins. And by working with Crescent as a customer, we could share with you how you could write blankets and understand how you could protect some of those metals for 2 or 3 or 4 months. And then how the brand has evolved. I mean, Crescent is one of those special companies. And as a customer, I'm sure you understand this. But when you work with a company that hasn't changed its name in 105 years, who's been there for their customers in the types of markets that you live in, you know, this is a company that's really created the bandwidth by using specialty products and specialty people that really understand the market. And I think that's really what sets Crescent apart from everybody else. So knowledge and understanding how and what the best benefits are important. Adaptability and resilience. And when I say that, Crescent's small enough. You know, when you're talking about a company that's over, $1.5 billion in sales, they're small enough to adapt and overcome with all the economic changes. Knowing that they've been around for 105 years lets you know they've been there through the Great Depression and World War I and World War II and all the types of changes that have happened in the industry, and Crescent's persevered, never been sold, never changed their name. They're customer-centric. They created a program with people like me, which is called the PSPP program, which stands for partnering with companies that are supplier partners, where they could really start creating custom-tailored programs for their customers to really help you separate yourself from everybody else. They help explain the brand. And Crescent, because of who they are, has some of the best brands like Priority, but so many others that really help you have the best of the products that are available in the industry today. And we're all constantly innovating. I mean, there is no standing still in this day and age. I mean, the adaptability and the speed and the velocity in which these products are being designed with AI technologies and data centers, Crescent has what it takes for their customers to really be there. And you don't have to know all the things that they know because they have the specialists on their team with suppliers like us on their team that really will help you as the customer get to those big projects. The largest provider of aluminum building wire in the country, and that's what makes Priority special. I mean, it really helped Crescent when Crescent chose us as their partner. They wanted someone who really understood the market. And we are the largest provider of aluminum buildings. So we want to give it to you. We're surrounded with 22 locations with 3.2 million square feet under roof and over $700 million of redundant inventory all around the country. So regardless of where you are, if you're working with Crescent, we have your back and we can provide you the products and services that you need to help you win the projects. The key is understanding what questions to ask. Crescent offers a value proposition that's second to none with industry knowledge and product knowledge and geographic knowledge. With their people and our agents and the local inventory, it really helps you separate yourself from everybody else. And it's there for you to, while understanding that they've been there. They know the projects, they know their geography, and they know how to help you win these. As the customer, we want to be your partner. Anybody could be a supplier, but I'll tell you, one of the things that I've learned over the last 38 years is cheap is expensive. Having the right product and the right solution with the right people at the right time in the right location really helps separate you from everybody else. And that's where Crescent really helps their customers. There's a big difference, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. There's a big difference between working with a supplier and working with a partner. We want to be your partner through Crescent Electric. So why working with Crescent makes a difference? Quality assurance. Everything meets the spec. Now, a lot of companies could say, oh, our product meets the spec, but you want a product that meets the spec, meets the bend radius, meets all the UL and CSA ratings, has the quality, the strippability, the flexibility, the bend radiuses that meet your project so that you have the quality to know there's going to be no surprises after you start the project. Timeliness. Everything is delivered to meet your timeline. You're the customer. We work for you. Whether it's us or Crescent, we work for you and we want you to win. And we want you to win the relationship, not just the sale. Flexible. We're flexible in your delivery schedules. Things happen. It's life. The HVAC company delays the project or the plumber delays the project and they can't pull electrical. We work with you to make sure the product is there and ready when you need it to be ready. In the same time, as I mentioned earlier, we could work with you to create blankets that could protect you on the metals and the volatility of the metals. Innovation. We're always constantly looking. And so many of the products that we sell today didn't exist yesterday when it comes to fiber and data centers and some of the technologies and some of the intelligence of these cables, like variable frequency drive cables and some of the other cables, whereas other cables might be around for 80 years. We want to make sure that we provide you the right product for the right application. And that's where our engineers and our team, along with Crescent's engineers and their team, really help you as the customer get the right product at the right time for the right project. Engagement, open communications, things happen, but no relationship is worth anything if the communication's not there. We want to be your partner, not a supplier. We want you to communicate with us. Tell us what's going on. Maybe the electrical engineers changed something. Maybe they started the project and found out that they need 3 conductors instead of 4 or 4 conductors instead of 3. Work with us and we'll change the project along the way so that you as the customer win. We want to help you by listening and changing what you need us to be all the time. One of the products that could really help you do that is aluminum tray cable. Copper tray cable has been around forever. Nobody needs to tell you anything special about that. But when it comes to aluminum tray cable, this is a cable that could save you a substantial amount of money. Easier to work with because it's significantly lighter. All the fittings that you have now that you keep as Crescent's customer are copper and aluminum rated. So you don't need to buy anything new. And when you look at the volatility of metals, just this last Friday, copper was almost $6 a pound and aluminum was almost $1.50 a pound. That's the highest it's been in United States history. When it hit the $6 mark not that long ago, it was the highest it had ever been. When that happens, you always want to look for other opportunities. And aluminum is another opportunity that can really help you. We do all the conversions for you. So when you look at the ampacity and the electricity that travels through cable, the OD or the diameter of the cable needs to be a little bit larger because of the ampacity of the cable. We do all those conversions for you. But when you look at just the cost of the metals, we're going to save you over 40% by just introducing aluminum tray cable or even aluminum building wire, all available through Crescent Electric. TC or TCER, which is just extended runs, we have all the things you need, whether you're putting it in tray or you're going direct burial. But again, education is key. We'll teach you all the questions to ask. We'll teach you the types of things that your customer, the end user, is concerned about, because maybe they're not familiar with it. So we'll help you. We'll give you samples through your contact at Crescent so that they could touch it and feel it and look at it and strip it and make sure it's what they want. Open communication and really helping you get your arms around it and getting all your senses involved, as well as your end user involved, will really help make the transition really simple. One of the other products is Priority Plex. All of the companies out there already know what it's like to pull colored masters. But what Priority Plex does is it pretends that it's like one single cable that pulls like a single cable, but without a jacket. It's plexed at the factory, which is just a fancy way of saying that we're taking the cable and we're twisting it every 12 inches at the factory. So when you're pulling it through, you don't need to use a lubricant because it has a slick jacket. It doesn't need, your fill radius on the conduit could be better because it's going to pull like a single cable instead of pulling 4 parallel cables. And the OD is smaller because it's plexed. So when they put it together, you can't even get a piece of paper through it. It's that tight, really wound. Requires lower pulling force. So when you're pulling 4 masters versus 1 cable, you can just think about it just out loud and you'll know that it pulls much faster. It's available with or without a ground, depending on where you are as Crescent's customer. Some geographies want it with a ground, others don't. So we have it both options are available through your contact at Crescent. And like I mentioned earlier, it uses that slick XLPE jacket, so you don't need to put a lubricant on it. It'll pull easy, especially around the 90s and the turns. It reduces the number of pulls because it's plexed at the factory. It could use smaller conduit if you give it to the electrical engineers on the front end so they could build it into their spec. And it saves on storage. Instead of saving 4 different colored masters, you're saving 1 reel with all the colored masters already on it. And they're already plexed as 1 cable, just like the picture shows. Any of you that would like a sample of this, just please reach out to your Crescent rep, and he or she could send it right over to you to take a look at and share it with your end users. One of the other things we do is we provide you the ability as a customer of Crescent to be able to go to any location, any vertical, whether it's industrial or commercial, residential or utility or OEM products or wastewater treatment or bottling plants. We'll tell you exactly what types of cables as a Crescent customer you should be looking at, because we already know what they're buying. So we can help you work smarter, not harder. And that really helps you differentiate yourself from all the rest. As you can see on the side there, Crescent helps their customers by having what they need for every type of application in the field. And it's always, as a salesperson, it's easy for us to say, oh, we have everything. But what we really want to do is have everything for the right application with the right people and the right product. And that's where we really help. And that's one of the things we love most about Crescent is they have the expertise to make that happen. Partnering with Crescent, how we help the customers and your end users so that it's a total overall solution. And what I mean by that, it's not just about the price. It's about, hey, can you take us from alpha to omega and do it in a way where everybody's happy, everybody is happy with the transaction, the overall value, and how it works. So creating a solution that balances the needs of you as the customer and your end user by listening, understanding what kind of hiccups they've run into and some of the pitfalls they've fallen into so that we could prevent those. We want to create a solution that maintains productivity as seamlessly as possible. The one thing that people realize today more than anything else is the most precious commodity is time. And time is one of the things that we want to save you on. And being that we're experts and with Crescent, in concert working together for you, we could really help you create that fair value. We want to create a solution that ensures efficiencies and supports you after the sale. Everybody looks good before the sale, but during the sale and after the sale, being able to really separate you from everybody else and making sure that that transaction delivers exactly what you promised to your end user is where we really shine. Because to us, that's where you really find out the difference between a partner and a supplier. We implement best practices that we fine-tune over 105 years, just like Crescent, where we want to make sure that we hear you and understand your needs, from shipping to storage to where you want it, to how you want it labeled. All those types of things create the desired results you want, and that's really where we specialize. We offer training. We don't expect you to know everything we know when it comes to wire and cable, so let us help you. We're going to monitor and analyze the projects. More than likely, we're very familiar with the projects and we're going to know what they want. So we're going to help you develop new techniques and types of questions to answer to be able to work closer with the electrical engineers in the field as well as the end users. So once again, you stand apart from everybody else. The real key in any type of relationship is that communication, and that's where we really can help you shine. And then lastly, we could custom design those solutions. You might find a customer who says they want custom labeling, or they want the label to say what floor it's on, or what acre it's on, or what trailer it's in, or what building it's in. We could do all that for you, including using your logo when need be. At the same time, maybe they're not ready for it, and we might need to store it for you. We could do that as well. As a customer of Crescent, we're ready to do that for you now. Other thing we offer is a lot of times, a lot of the Crescent customers were coming to us and saying, hey, you know what, after these projects, we have these reels everywhere. What are we going to do? And the last thing we want to do, being that we care about the environment, is put them in a landfill. So what we'll do as a partner of Crescent and as a partner of you as Crescent's customer, we'll pick up those reels at our expense with our trucks. We don't care whose name's on it. As long as they're not broken, we'll pick them up and we'll take them off the job site. So as a customer, think about how you could help your end user be able to tell them, hey, listen, when it's all said and done, all these reels, whether it's 20, 40, or 100 reels, we're going to pick them up for you at no charge, because that's what you get by working with Crescent. And by working with Crescent, you work with their partners, which is like us, and we're there to help you separate yourself from everybody else. Value prop, you can see that we're surrounded, as I mentioned earlier, we have 3.2 million square feet. So wherever you are in the United States, you can see that we have inventory all over ready to help you. And that's it. Anybody who has any questions, please reach out to your Crescent rep. Let them know. If you want samples, please let him or her know, and we'll get them out to you. If you have questions about this presentation, please reference what slide you're curious about, and we'll make sure we send you and your representative at Crescent exactly what you need to be able to answer those questions. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate you listening, and have a great day.